Okay, so Connie, thanks for coming in for this energy review. Is the new word for it instead of energy scan? It's energy review. So the energy review that I do is going to be based on the chakra system, looking first at your aura. So looking at the outside, then going into the aura, and then, just extending that tendril of energy just to check these things out. I'll look through each of the chakras. And are you familiar with the chakras?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So I'll review them as I go through each one. And then after I review each chakra, I will give you the information that I have. So and the number of blocks that you have in an energy flow is not a scorecard. So it doesn't mean that having a lot of blocks is a bad thing or a good thing. It's just where you're at.
Okay.
And I heard the analogy once and I related to it, although I don't play games, but when you up level when you're in a new level, there's a lot more challenges and blocks. And as you're ending that level, there's not very many blocks. And so sometimes it's an indication on where you are. And then as we go through the whole system, I'm also going to be aware of any themes that come through and areas that would need more attention than others. And sometimes it's like a Jenga game. When we unblock one thing, it unblocks all the others. And so it's not necessarily a block in each one, but where are they all building from?
Love it. Like a chain reaction.
Yeah. Yeah. And so with that process, I will invite you to turn off your camera. I'll turn off my camera so I'm not reading any of your micro expressions or anything like that. Okay. And do I have your permission to check out your energetic field?
You have my full permission to do whatever you need to do.
Thank you, Connie. All right. So I'm first going to look at your aura, just the overall appearance of that. Okay. The actual inside the aura, before we get into the chakras, generally reflects kind of more about what overall is going on in your life right now. And inside there, it's warm, it's inviting, it's consistency that's a little thinner than honey, but it's not watery by any stretch. There does seem to be a small leak, like on your lower left side. It's like a leak in your energy field that would leave you feeling drained. Not drained from feeling used and unappreciated, but maybe just needing to give yourself a little bit of a break.
Spot on.
Possibly giving more than you're receiving.
Spot on.
If you have any questions along the way, feel free to interrupt me or ask for clarification as we go through this.
So can I ask a question?
Sure.
Okay, because you said the left side, it's interesting because a couple of weeks ago, my left knee, I couldn't walk, went to an orthopedic. I have arthritis, so it's bone on bone, which whatever, right? It is what it is, I'm at my age, but he gave me a cortisone shot and I'm feeling great. So just interesting that you said the left side, that's where the issue was on the left side. Is that connected or now two separate things? Just curious.
No, it can be. Because so the inside of your aura from that outer hard shell where you're reflecting everyone's needs back to them to this inner gooey part, kind of liken it to like a crab shell, getting on that inner stuff. That's overall now. And so that pain point in your lower left, that could very well be that reflection and maybe doing more rest for that knee.
Yep. Thank you. That makes sense. Yep.
All right.
So, I believe in the whole energy thing. So I kept talking to my niece saying, I love you. Thank you for carrying me and helping me do what I need to do. The pain didn't go away. So I did go to the ortho.
Yeah. Sometimes we do have to rely on Western medicine. But sometimes knee pain also, in a lot of the theories, has to do with taking that next step forward, moving forward.
I like it.
Business and in our life. So kind of sometimes gearing up for what we need there.
I like it.
Okay, so our first step is going to be the crown chakra. So we're going to start at the top and go down, although the crown chakra is known as the seventh. This is your connection to universe, guides, higher self, in your energy with universal source. we'll check that out. Okay, so in the seventh chakra, this is where we would see the a block in masculine. You don't have that. You're very focused. You're very directed. Um, you're yeah, that's a non-issue. We don't need to talk about it. There's a little bit of the protective mode where you're a little bit, if I say coward, just having the fear of taking it all away. That I'm two steps in the wrong direction and I could lose everything. And so we see that also can be with the whole your mind being on overdrive, having a plan and a backup plan and a backup plan for your backup plan.
Yes, I do that.
Uh-huh. And the reality is, honey, you have already set up every plan possible in the world. Stop it. You have all the plans and you have been planning and you have been meticulous all of your life. Take a break. If anything pops up, you can handle it. You don't need to keep the incessant planning.
Okay, so I'm going to put stop.
Stop it.
Okay, that is so spot on.
Because we look at having a blocked or diverted flow. I'm getting that it's not it. This is that leak, and we're going to figure out where that leak is coming from. Having more sense of protecting yourself is going to, I think, free up a lot of this. That fear of losing things, but over planning is just exhausting you because you've already made every plan there is. and I can relate to that too.
Yeah.
And then this is also where we look at a lack of cohesion, or if you have an untrained channel. I don't think that your channel is untrained whatsoever, but when I checked in with your guides, they said that you could listen to them a little more.
Oh my God, that is so funny. I know. Okay, so I know this, and here's Amanda. Here's how my guides have shared this with me before. I am so open, right, to the universal laws and all of that, and I believe so deeply. And then a thought comes into my head, a great idea, and it gets about halfway through. So picture my nose, right, halfway through. And then my ego or mind or logic goes, oh no, that'll never work. And I push it back out. Right. So you see where I know I do this. How do I, and I don't know that you can help me with that, but how do I stop that? Because I know I do that. My guides have told me that before. I don't know what I don't know to change it.
And so a lot of it is trusting that intuition. And that is a very, very hard thing because society has beat into you that you have to listen to all the logic. And so it's getting more right brain, less left brain, just all kinds of things. So let's see what else we find here. Because your guides are saying, we done told her that, but and just seeing this persistent leak in energy. So when we look at the chakras, we look at energy coming in and energy going out. The energy coming in is great and amazing. You have an amazing connection with universal source. But then having that same energy to go out, it's not equal going out.
Yeah.
And some of that can be used up by your planning, used up by protecting yourself and not feeling safe in your container.
Yeah.
And in the over planning. So we could be burning it up, but usually it's a leak. So we'll move on to the sixth chakra, or the third eye, which is your intuition and your psychic connection. All righty.
I was just getting paper. I'm still here. I want to take notes and I'm running out of paper. That was all.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. Yeah. Like I said, this is why people want to listen to it again. Because there's only so much. And then for me, my notes always look half baked. So
you're so funny.
So here's where we look at your receiver. Is your receiver is blocked? Usually it has to do with a fear of vulnerability. Also has to do with our feminine energy, being open to the world with childlike curiosity. Your receiver's on a switch.
Say that again.
Your receiver is on a switch.
Uh-huh.
You're picking and choosing instead of continuing to be open to the universe.
See, that's the brain.
Yeah, the logical brain, huh? It gets us into so much trouble.
It's really bad.
And looking at the transmitter being more the masculine, you have no problem transmitting. Sometimes the problem is you've asked the question and it's a little impatient to receive the information.
100%. I'm much better with my masculine than feminine energy for sure.
You're a mover and a shaker and a doer, and sometimes we forget to love on ourselves. So the next one would be looking at a lack of trust in the universe. And it's not that you lack the trust, it's following that guidance.
Yep.
And so kind of thinking that you're on your own, because there's times when the universe has knocked on your door, but again, you've blocked that and not listened to it and seen it all the way through.
Yep.
And some of this comes into refusing to admit your own power, which I think overall you're very open to sharing your energetic beliefs, but only to a certain amount. You've got a cap on that as far as how much you can let people know, and therefore there's only so much you're willing to do in that realm with your intuition.
Yep.
So kind of holding that back. The fear of what other people will think. What will they really think if I say, oh, well, I got a tap that I needed to buy extra toilet paper, and so I did, and poof, the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
And so some things we just don't have to share them. We just need to follow them with our heart and delve into that.
Spot on.
Okay. Your guides didn't have anything to add there. They thought my notes covered it. So
cool.
Moving right along to that throat chakra, the fifth chakra, self-expression and self-possession. We'll take a look here. Okay. Probably one of the cleanest throat chakras I've ever looked at.
Seriously?
Yeah. I mean, the biggest fear is, you have some fear of being seen. It's the concern about judgment, what other people are going to think of you if you really let it go. But you have a way, you have that eloquence in your speaking and the fluid thought that you are able to relate to so many people in so many ways.
Yeah, I agree with that.
In your personal life, you let it fly a lot more. People know where you stand and you're comfortable in speaking your true self. In your business, you are more guarded, and that's because if they don't like you, they won't hire you. But then again, not everybody's our customer. So, and then
can I comment, Amanda?
Oh yeah.
You know why that is so true? Because with everything that's going on in the world, you feel like, I give you an example. I was speaking and I was talking about when we communicate, right? We have filters. One of them is gender. And I hemmed and hawed. Do I use the word gender? Are people going to take, I thought I'm using gender and I'm going to explain what I mean behind it. But I struggled over that because I don't ever want to offend someone innocently, right? Because that's just not who I am. I'm not mean. I'm not offensive. I'm very aware of people and feelings and thoughts and respect and all of that, right? So that's where the biz piece I do hold back, because I don't ever want someone to feel that I'm dissing them or devaluing them in some way because of something I said innocently. Does that make sense?
Right. And I struggle with that, being raised here in the Midwest. We do not have diversity.
Yeah.
And understanding that the world we live in, because and I say this with love and respect of myself, I'm pasty white. It's the only thing I've ever been.
Yeah.
And just because of that, because I can say, I can't it's not that I disbelieve it or anything, but just the whole idea that because you're white, that's white privilege.
Exactly.
It's like, well, yeah.
Yes,
So,
it's
and and usually when I say anything and I'm talking with people and I say, please correct me. I mean, I want to learn as much as I can about other cultures and religions and diversity. And if I misspeak, it's out of pure ignorance.
absolutely. Or just innocent that you use the wrong phrase or so, but in business, right, we have to be aware of that because
Mhm.
people are hypersensitive. I'm not personally, but I know the world is. So yeah, I don't ever want to offend anyone. That's just a respect thing for me. But that you're 100% right with the throat chakra. At home, I say what the hell I want, right? Because
Yeah.
whatever, they know me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Behind closed doors, but that business presence but I don't see it as it's not
Initially.
a true block. It's a
Yeah.
professionalism.
Yeah. Agree.
And
I
your
agree
and
with
your
that.
guides just said keep speaking it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yep.
All right. So moving on to the heart chakra, your fourth chakra. That's where love, grief, betrayal, and receiving are held. Okay. So in the heart chakra, one of the things we look at, this is where grief and regret get stored. I don't, it's not super clear, but there is a dark spot. And it feels like it's something that happened about 5 years ago, something that it's not armored heart. It just feels like there's something that still tugs at your heart. And I'm going to say 5 to 7 years ago is probably where that came in.
That probably was COVID where I thought I was going to lose everything
Mm.
because COVID, my business, I was live, Amanda, before COVID. I did everything live. And then my clients just one by one, yep, stops. And my husband lost his job, his company closed. And so we had no income coming in. And I've always made an income since the age of 13. So this was devastating. I mean, we had money in the bank, but we had to take on debt. And I've never had debt like this. So that's probably the regret. Here's the thing, the logic, I know it is what it is and we survived. Isn't that a beautiful thing? But that I guess that taking on that debt, I think deep down I feel like a failure. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So that would explain because this is also this betrayal. And so when we look at the betrayal factor, it's usually seen as a dagger, and the dagger is usually planted in the back of the heart.
Mm.
I can see what looks like a mirage of a dagger, but as I approach it, it disappears. Like it's disappearing, but it sneaks up when we think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that fits perfectly. And I'm told that you need to that it's forgiveness work that will clear this up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And looking at forgiveness in so many aspects. Um, yeah. So
That makes
that's
sense.
that's what I have there. So yeah. And like you say, you're able to count the blessings of, yeah, we got through it, and we're gonna continue to thrive and grow, and we've adapted, we've done the changes, all my planning paid off.
Right. Exactly. But again, then you think about it and you feel sick to your stomach, right? That we blew through our savings, right? We had to use the retirement. Now we have debt that I'm still paying. Like it's like a noose around my neck that it's exhausting. Do you know what I'm saying, Amanda?
Mhm.
It's exhausting. Yeah. And we're coming out of it, right? I know that there's light at the end of all of those things. But when I think about it, I feel sick in my stomach.
Yeah, and you were betrayed, all the
Yeah.
hard work and everything that you did to put into this, and this is what you have.
Yeah.
And this is where it went to live, and being very thankful that you had that opportunity
Yeah.
to do that. It's like, yeah, I could have been retired by now, but
Right. Yep. Yep.
yeah. So I'm going to suggest some forgiveness work specifically around that.
Yep. Thank you.
So it quits creeping in. All right. Moving on to the third chakra, down to the solar plexus. This is where your power, your will, your identity, the inner child. And this is where the stories that we tell ourselves live
Mm.
and take away from our power, if we're not careful. So we'll take a look at those specifically.
Mm-hmm.
So The identity that I see you living is very different from the Connie I know.
Really?
Really, your inner identity, who you identify with, is someone who is living very small, living on the cul-de-sac and hiding.
Really?
Yeah, not unclean, unkempt, but just that, yeah, that identity of being more hidden, being more reserved. It's like that's not the Connie I see at all. But a lot oftentimes that is what we see, that inner identity.
So I want to make sure I'm understanding. So I'll ask a question.
Mhm,
The what you because you know me pretty well, right? So
mhm.
what you see, you feel that inside I don't feel that way, that I'm projecting a different image than I actually feel.
Right.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
fascinating.
Yeah. That on the inside you're telling yourself you're small, and that you're living a hidden life, like on a cul-de-sac. And I don't know why I see that, but that's,
So funny. Like
yeah,
safe, cul-de-sac is safe.
this is true. This is true. And hiding was a word in there. Like hiding who you really are.
Hmm. So it's interesting. I'll share with you. I thought that my throat chakra was going to be where the issue is, because so this maybe this is where it's coming up. I said to my husband, I feel like I bite my tongue a lot. And that's why I thought it was the throat chakra, that I was holding myself from saying what I meant, because most times I think people are just stupid. So, not you, not the people in this room, but
No, but
and
I
I
do. Yeah. People are
know what I'm
stupid.
saying. And I shared that in the last one, that I really like Shannon's people, because it's people like you who I think we're all finding our way. We're asking for help, but we are trying, right, to be better. And so that's who I want to surround myself with, because we're always in flux. We're always learning, right? There's always more to know, do, grow, whatever. So they're
Mhm.
the people I want. And I feel like there's people out there that are just ripping others off. And that makes my heart hurt, because it's wrong. See, again, the right from wrong. So I
Mhm.
think that this is maybe where I'm just biting my tongue maybe too much, where I should stop hiding what I really think. But am I off? That's just
No,
what came.
I don't think so. I think that the story you're telling yourself is that you need to live small, you need to hide, you need to stay where it's safe.
Yeah,
And this isn't good or bad. This is just
it is what it
what
is.
I'm seeing energetically about you right now in this moment.
Interesting. I definitely can see that. Yes, I can see that.
And so then when I look at your inner child, um, she's clean and she's fed and she's living in a safe environment, but she's also very, very sad.
Hmm.
Like she's not feeling loved and nurtured.
Hmm.
And so reconnecting with her may also help you to live that bigger identity
Yeah.
that you have on the outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause when I went to look for her, it just felt so sad. So sad.
Well, now it's interesting. I did a life regression many years ago. I'm going to cry as I think about this. And God, it had to be back in the famine, like the potato famine in another country, because I was speaking a foreign language, and my parents left me at a convent to be raised by nuns because they couldn't feed me. And I cried, like I won't eat, like, and I think I was 5 at the time. So I wonder if there's some um reserve from that lifetime, maybe.
Could be.
Yeah. Okay. I
Yeah.
have to
But I
talk to
would,
little Connie.
yeah, talk to her. And that's, a lot of times what, if this were one of my regular, sessions, I'd say, all right, let's go talk to that baby in the womb and let's tell her all those wonderful, loving things that we would want said to us. And finding your inner child and talking to her and telling her all of those things that you love her, you appreciate her, and that you're going to go have fun. And
Yeah.
and maybe that's the reconnect with your inner child and go have some fun and stop with the over planning, overthinking, and always having that professional face.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Interesting. So this stuff is so fascinating.
And so this goes into the whole not welcome, not wanted, not important. You have overcome this.
Yeah.
But there was a time when you felt all of those things.
Yeah.
And that would go back to that sadness with that inner child.
Yeah.
So
Interesting. And it's funny because I think again, I bite my tongue because I think, oh, you're being too aggressive and forward. Shut up. Nobody cares what you think. You know what I mean? Because I feel like sometimes I come across as too aggressive because of that masculine energy. So it's funny because I think my solar plexus, it just interesting. I thought it was going to be the throat chakra. See how fascinating this is?
no, I think this is your inner gooey stuff.
My inner gooey stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. The being told that you were too big, too much. You came out and said, I'll show you,
Yeah.
The not good enough. There you have a touch of that. It's not a huge block, but that fear that you could be not good enough. And so I think that fear kind of keeping you in that protective mode.
Yeah.
That's when your what ifs come up.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And those what ifs need to take a back seat because you have a plan for everything.
And then some.
Yeah.
Oh, you're killing me.
Okay.
In a good way. In a good way. All right.
Okay, on to the second chakra, the sacral chakra, where your sexuality, sensuality, and creativity, as well as your inner, and we look at the energy flow here. So take a look there. Okay. It looks like this is where the leak is. This is where we see challenges in receiving pleasure, and this is where that I don't deserve comes in, and not, all of those things you are deserving of. The creativity, this comes back up with not allowing yourself to have the freedom to just do something for fun.
Yeah, I don't do that at all.
Whether you do a wine and canvas and you never hang it up, whether you go out and you buy all the supplies to do something and you never complete it, it's okay. You need to have the fun and the excitement of doing something creatively. And they told me you need to do something that's mixed media.
What does that mean?
So mixed media is like a hodgepodge of everything. So it can be, you can start out with oils on canvas and then you add pieces of a phone book or wallpaper or fabric or bird feathers or string or buttons. So you're putting all kinds of things together to create something.
It's so funny. I feel like I'm being called out. All my secrets. So at Christmas,
this session is private. I do
I
not
know,
keep good notes. I do not share this.
You're
That
so
is
cute.
that is
But
unethical.
Here's the thing: if you needed to use me as an example, like that's how we learn, right? Other people, by sharing other people's stories, sometimes go, "Oh, that makes so much sense." But at Christmas, I was doing shopping online and what have you, and there was this cool make ornaments and this painting a little canvas. And I thought, oh, that'd be fun. They're little, they'd be quick, like it, because I don't have time, right? So, well, that could be a quick fun. Guess what? I haven't opened them.
But you know what? You have more Christmases coming.
What does that mean?
Well, you could still open them and do them and still give them as Christmas gifts this Christmas.
Yes, I know. I know. Isn't that so freaking funny? But you said you buy it and then you don't do anything with it. Yep, that's what I do.
But you're still allowing the creative juices to flow.
You mean by like buying it? You're saying by doing, yeah.
You still need to do that. you've got some shame and guilt. And I think that shame and guilt has to do with the whole COVID thing.
Yeah.
And I think when you go back to that forgiveness piece, that's going to resolve that.
Yeah.
Blocking your passions, you're not living to the fullest. And they say, oh, there's a lady who does a whole business based on women becoming aware of their sexuality and their power. And so everything you experience, you need to experience in the fullest.
Mm.
And that includes your sexual energy as well. Because if you can block the natural portions of our bodies that enjoy a sexual experience, imagine what else you're blocking in your life.
Mm. Yep.
Yep. So quit blocking it.
Yep. You got
Enjoy.
it, sister.
Enjoy.
Yeah, have more fun. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Loosen up and have more fun.
Yeah. And let it be creative. Be, get out of your head, which we've talked about several times.
Yeah.
Getting out of your head and living.
So Amanda, one more thing, and then I will let you keep going. But I said to my husband, we were at a restaurant and they had these wood, it was down the shore. So we have a house on the shore. And so anyway, it had these wood, like shiplap. And then the person kind of whitewashed it and then painted an image of a beach with a little sailboat and stuff like that. So we were out to breakfast a couple of weeks ago. And I said to my husband and kids, I go, oh, I'm going to do that when I retire. And they looked at me, they go, do what? And I go, paint. I really want to paint. And they go, you think you're going to be good at it? I go, well, I used to when I was a kid, I paint, I drew. I said I was quite artistic. And then, life takes over. So see, immediately, Amanda, I said, when I retire, I'll do that.
And my kids would say, and you think you're going to retire?
Perspective.
Uh-huh. And of course, Dale says, if we're doing what we love, we don't retire.
That's true too. That is true.
So you obviously love what you do. You do it very, very well.
Yeah.
And so you need to throw this creativity in. Open up that Christmas package. If nothing else, get the packaging thrown away so that it's out. And if you don't do that all at once for Christmas, then do it for those people's birthdays.
Yeah. You're
out.
right. Yeah. I love it. I love it. That's a good place to start. See, that's a good start point. You're funny.
All right. So onward to the first chakra. This would be looking at your survival, physical needs. This is your tribe and family and manifestations and earth energy source and grounding. So how well you do all of this. So this one takes a little bit longer.
Yep. Take your time.
And I'm going to go ahead and we send up a manifestation bubble. And so it'll be kind of like a bubble light and like on a Christmas tree, those bubble lights. And we send that bubble up through all of the chakras and see kind of at the end where we see any blocks there. So I'll do that as well. Okay. So as far as grounding, you are well grounded and you do a purposeful exercise to stay grounded.
Yes, I would say yes to that. I meditate every day, every night, my gratitude, and I do Pilates 4 days a week to make sure I'm moving my body and grounding my body, listening to my body. So yeah, I think I'm well grounded. I would agree with that.
Yeah. Very most grounded people of course, most people coming into asking for a scan like this
are grounded.
Are not grounded.
Are not. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, a lot of people, because their energy is scattered and it's crazy everywhere and they don't know what to do or how to do. So yeah, most people don't do a scan to confirm what they know.
Well, isn't that funny? Yeah.
So the family tableau, this is looking at your family, but this is your family of origin.
Okay.
So like your house you grew up in with. I see you as sitting kind of in the middle of the table.
Correct.
It looks like you have one sister and one brother.
Older than me. And I have a younger sister also.
And another sister. Okay. And the brotherly energy feels like the one that you're closest to.
No.
No.
He drives me crazy. Maybe, well, all right. So he and I are both November birthdays and we're 6 days apart.
Okay.
So that could be that connection. He drives me crazy because he's afraid of everything and I want to kick him in the ass most times.
Okay. But that family structure felt connected.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. And like everybody's sitting, eating family style. Father sitting at the head of the table, but mom controls mom runs the family.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, my mom has passed, but yeah, I agree with that 100%. Yep.
And there's an aunt energy there. I don't think it's a grandma. I think it's an aunt energy, and that she was probably the more nurturing person in your family.
Um, my mom was extremely nurturing. My dad had a little bit of a hard edge, so that's why they worked well together because he taught us the logic, she taught us the love side.
Mhm.
But my aunts lived upstairs. I grew, my grandma and grandpa and my aunts lived upstairs. And my one aunt, she and I were very close. And it's funny because my other two sisters gravitated to the other aunts. We each kind of had one. Isn't that interesting?
Cool.
Yeah. So my aunt, yes, and I know who you're talking about. And she very much like my mother, very nurturing, like my mom. They were very close.
I mean, because it didn't feel like it was a grandma energy. It felt like it was an auntie.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Your connection with friends. You've got 3 or 4 really close friends.
Yep.
Most of your friends are related to your kiddos, like through school activities and sports and things.
Yep.
Your friendship is moving more, not so much with the school stuff, but actually with your children as they grow and the families that they are entering into. But also looks like your husband is your closest friend.
For sure. Yep.
That's what I see there. Then looking at that block feminine, it's the self care. You need to do something that you only do for you. Doing those self care things doesn't involve anybody else. It's not the girls' pedicure day. It's something you do for you to
Yeah.
recharge yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, slowing those leaks, because I think that's where the leaks are. Is you're giving more than you're receiving, but if you can't give to yourself as well, then what you're giving to others is also weaker.
Yep.
So,
I've gotten better at that, to be honest. Like I do the Pilates, like I wasn't spending the money. And then last September, I said to my husband, I need to firm up and Pilates because, I'm older. So I said the Pilates is more gentle, but intense. And so I paid the money and I do it and I go 4 times a week. Like that was my commitment to myself,
yep.
I'm working on it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard, especially when we're going through that transition mom change because our kiddos are growing up and
Yeah.
they don't need us. And now we don't know what to do with our time. Our time is to take care of us.
Yeah. No,
Take
agree.
all that love and energy you put into those kiddos and put it into you.
Yep.
The fears around safety and security, you're guarded that there's another COVID experience coming up. And so that's some of the guarding. And I don't know that that's anything you need to address, but just to be aware.
Yep.
Yeah, very well grounded. Looking at your unwillingness to ask for help, I was told you have a plan for that. So
Wait, I don't ask for help. That's true. I think I could go it alone, but I have a plan for that. I do. Oh,
it says you have a plan for that. You don't ask for help, but if you absolutely had to, you know exactly who you would ask.
oh, that's true.
You have people pigeonholed that you're not going to ask them because you know that they are unconditionally there for you and they will pull it out at the last minute.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. That's true. Yeah. Okay. So I do have a plan. See that?
Yeah, that plan you can hang on to, but don't make any more. So then when I set up that manifestation bubble, the second chakra, that's where it had to break up into teeny tiny little fuzzy bubbles to go past. And that's also where the leak is in that sacral chakra.
Oh,
So
okay.
looking at doing more healing there. And I think that's going to be coming out in your creativity and receiving all of the pleasures in life that life has for you, to open yourself up to receive those. A little bit of blocks around the third chakra, and everything else was smooth sailing.
Mhm.
The guide's final comment for you was, convert to spend more time with the self-care and loving yourself.
Yep.
Did you have any questions for me?
You answered them as we went through. This was, can I tell you, you're excellent at this. You were so spot on. Let me share my screen again. Yeah, I mean, my face again. You were so spot on, Amanda. That was hysterical, which is interesting because you do know me and I don't felt that swayed, because you were like, wait a minute, I see you this way, but this is what I'm seeing. And you were spot on. So excellent job with your craft. I'm very happy for you.
Thank you. I'm going to pull my energy back from you unless you had any other questions or anything you wanted me to look at again, or
Nope. So the leak,
okay.
or did we stop the leak?
We didn't stop the leak. There's still some things you need to do
Okay, that's
to
cool.
stop that leak.
Yep, I got
Yep.
it.
So, because Norma, and a lot of times, if there's little things that I can tell people to do, we'll tell them to do the little things. Like, there's a great meditation for grounding. It's the tree meditation. You're already grounded.
Yeah.
I didn't really get that the empathic stuff is a problem for you. You're able to discern what energy is yours and what energy is other people's,
Yes.
and you're able to leave their energy there. You don't have to take it on and fix it.
Nope.
So
Yes.
yeah.